Good morning. I want to remind you, next week I'm planning on being on vacation until Saturday. Of course, that's a plan. Doesn't necessarily mean it'll happen today. But I want you to plan to join us Sunday morning at 9 o'clock at Una for worship. You know, I've talked about my grandfather, Bill McCarty, before. He used to take Mark and I fishing and hunting when we were very young. Even today, when I smell somebody smoking his cigar, it reminds me of him. Every Sunday morning, we would walk into worship, and he always had a roll of Lifesavers in his pocket. And he would split that roll of Lifesavers in half, give Mark one half and me the other. And you know, there are an odd number of Lifesavers in a roll, so each Sunday he would keep track of who got that cherry Lifesaver in the middle, which gave them one more than the other person. At Christmas time, he and my grandmother would give Mark and I the same gift so that we wouldn't get in a fight about it. And they didn't know we were smart enough. Whoever he got to first would call the other one and tell them what they were getting for Christmas. You know, when my Aunt Janet died several years ago, going through her stuff, I found a New Testament that was my grandfather's. And I opened it up, and in the front pages of that Bible were recorded all of the times, the dates that he finished reading the New Testament. It was kind of interesting because in 1953, in the fall of 1953, there were 2 dates in the fall, meaning that he read the New Testament twice in the fall. Those 2 dates corresponded to the date that Mark was born and I was born, because we were born 3 weeks apart as cousins. You know, that kind of puts me to shame to know the number of times that my grandfather read the New Testament. It was a lot, at least once every year. One year he gave me a plaque, and it was a wooden plaque, and it hung on my wall, even up through when I was in college. And that plaque said that even a fish would not get in trouble if he kept his mouth shut. My grandfather thought that was really funny. I thought it was funny too. But you know, I still remember those words today. Even a fish wouldn't get in trouble if he kept his mouth shut. I had a problem all my life of running my mouth. You know, there is a time for us to open our mouth, and there's a time for us to keep our mouth shut. But it's always a time to watch our mouth. I want to read from 1 Peter this morning. 1 Peter chapter 3, and I'm going to begin in verse 10. And this is an exact quote where Peter quotes the Psalms. He quotes Psalms 34. Whoever would love life and see good days must keep his tongue from evil and his lips from deceitful speech. He must turn from evil and do good. He must seek peace and pursue it. For the eyes of the Lord are on the righteous, and his ears are attentive to their prayer. But the face of the Lord is against those who do evil. I want to turn over to Psalms 34. And even though it's in the same Bible, in the same translation, and that was an exact quote, these words are a little bit different. I want to begin in verse 12. Whoever of you loves life and desires to see many good days, keep your tongue from evil and your lips from speaking lies. It's interesting to me that here it changes to lies from deceptive talk, which are the same thing. And it talks about any of you who desires many good days to keep your tongue from evil and your lips from speaking lies. Be safe. Stay well out there.